Hello and welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Monster Pod, brought to you by thelines.com. Matt Brown, Steven Anders, joined this week by 4 for 4's Connor Allen. Cleveland Browns on the road at the Philadelphia Eagles. Maybe no team in the NFL needed a bye worse than the Eagles. Came at the perfect time for them. They are out to 9.5 point favorites here over this pathetic Browns offense. 42.5 is the total. Connor, injury report for the Eagles as good as you would expect. So Brown back, Smith back, Lane Johnson back. Everybody is back over there for this Eagles team. So as close to a full strength squad as we have seen this season so far. And the bettors are actually backing it up. And that's the interesting thing to me about this, guys, is that, you know, these big favorites not only have not been covering, but they've been losing outright. And this was at 8, and then it was at 8.5, and then the limits went up, and then it went to 9, and then it went to 9.5. And it's one of those things where the bettors do not care about what's been happening so far this year, and do not care about the last time that we saw the Eagles, where it was a shell of that team and they looked like ass. So, Connor, I mean, it was about to be the teaser game of the year, where people are going to tease the 8.5 down to 2.5, and they were going to move on. But that's blew through that number as well. So, what do we think about 9.5 now, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's getting up there, and I don't blame them. I mean, This Browns defense is beat up. This Eagles offense back to full health. I think we talked about it when the Eagles were getting injured. We're like, there's very few impactful duos to be injured like Lane Johnson and AJ Brown, in the league. You know, I mean, these are two of the most important players in the league to any team, let alone to Jalen Hurts, where we know his splits are massive. You know, lo and behold, it didn't go well. It was one of the most obvious letdown spots here. Now they're getting them back against a Browns team that hasn't played well at all. I still hold this true. Maybe, put on my tinfoil hat here, that they were going to bench Deshaun Watson at halftime. They panned to Jameis Winston with his helmet on, throwing the ball, warming up, it seemed like. And then Deshaun sitting on the bench without his helmet. Maybe he was just chucking the ball at halftime. I don't know why you have your helmet on then, but then they still put Watson in. I think the owners, put in a call there to be like, you can't do that, because I just don't understand at this point. It's like sunk cost fallacy to the extreme, where they paid Watson all this money. They got to stick with him. I get it to an extent, but it's painful to watch. It's painful for anyone who's invested anything in this Browns offense, from fantasy to betting. I might be a salty Amari Cooper Alt's bag holder from last week, but I was pretty, I just could not get over the fact that they stuck with Deshaun Watson through that game against the Commanders. He's played multiple bad games against bad secondaries, hasn't played well. So even though the Eagles secondary is technically a good matchup, good in scare quotes there, it doesn't matter. He hasn't played well in any good matchups this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's just I know this is going to be a popular Survivor pick. I think it's fine to play them in Survivor. If especially your pool has probably been decimated as it is anyway, I think that's a good way to go about this. It's there's really nothing, Steven, to get excited about on the Brown side of things. And I don't like to factor in, because I don't want to try to get in the brains of these guys, but and it's early in the season, but the quit factor. If you're on the defense and you're just watching what's going on with this offense, and it's just 3 and out and 3 and out and 3 and out and 3 and out over and over and over and over again, and you're just out on the field for what feels like friggin' 50 of the 60 minutes of the game. It's just, again, I'm not handicapping quit factor, but there has to be some dudes in that locker room who are just what in the hell are we doing? There's no way that Jameis is worse than this. There has to be that scuttlebutt in the locker room. They have eyeballs too.
Yeah, I watched a decent amount of this Browns game against the Commanders last week, and halfway through the second quarter, it's not like Jaden Daniels was lighting the world on fire. I think he finished with a kind of a below average success rate in that game. It just felt that's what I saw, Matt. It kind of felt like that. It felt like the defense at some point finally was just what the hell's the point of this? And then the game got blown open, because drive after drive, the Browns and Deshaun Watson can't move the ball. There's a very damning clip that Brian Baldinger posted where it's a very simple NFL mesh concept where two receivers cross and the defenders went with the same guys. So the other guy's wide open and Watson just completely missed him, did a 180, and then got WWE. I'm not a WWE guy, but he got it's
okay, Stevie. You don't have to preface that, whatever. No one's gonna look
What's
down
the one
on you.
Where they just drive them into the ground.
It's super popular still. I know, whatever. No one's gonna think badly of you if you do watch the old WWE. If you are a wrestling fan,
I don't know the names of the movie. I know the rock bottom. That's what I know. And the people's elbow. Anyway, it's just dead team walking right now. I mean, if I'm betting anything in this game, it's the Browns team total under, right? I mean, you're getting under 16.5 at minus 120, under 15.5 at plus money. This team can't move the ball. Like Connor, I was right there with you. I was railing all week, throwing up tweets like, how can they not bench this guy? And then the more I thought about it as the week gone on, like, I agree it's got to be the owner. There's people in higher positions than us that think it's the owner as well at this point. I've gone like full galaxy brain mode at this point, and that the owner's making Watson go out there because he's one of the worst quarterbacks we've seen in the past decade, and that starting Deshaun Watson for the rest of the season now will actually get them the number 1 pick and the only way out of this mess potentially. So that's my whole galaxy brain conspiracy theory on this and why they haven't benched him. And I don't think they will bench him, frankly.
Yeah, the other way I think you can attack this game doesn't have anything to do with the game itself. It's just that, look, the Eagles are still plus money to win the NFC East. If I wasn't so highly leveraged on the Eagles already as it was anyway, this would be the entry point for me.
I'm gonna have a discussion with you about that in a couple of games here.
You're getting plus 135, plus 140-ish out there. The Commanders are going to get beat this week, most likely. The Cowboys, in my opinion, are going to get beat this week. So the odds for this Eagles team are probably never going to get any better than they are right now. So I would look at maybe the Eagles if I didn't have that as part of the portfolio already. Such a massive part of my goddamn portfolio already, then I would be adding some of that in there as well. So kind of a way to play the win for them anyway here in this one. Guys, everything we do absolutely free, so go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Do appreciate that. If you have not checked out 4for4 and all that Connor and team over there are doing, you got to go over there, get in on that. Not just sports betting. I know this is a sports betting podcast. They got your fantasy needs as well, so don't give up yet. It's only week 6. I know it sucks. You're looking at your team and going like, I have no chance because all my guys are injured. Well, guess what? Other people have injured people too, so they'll help you figure all this out over there at 4for4. If you haven't done so already as well, lines.com, upper right-hand corner. Absolutely free Discord. You can go in there and chat all sports all season long. For Connor, for Steven, I'm Matt. Good luck on all your week 6 bets.